What's good, y'all? DJ E-Rock in the building. This is The Basement on Real 92.3. It's LA's new home for hip-hop. And I got a very, very special guest, man. And you know what's crazy is that, like, I feel like, that not only being a fan that I kind of already know you, but we've met a couple times. I also
Yeah,
frequent like a lot of like, the nightlife scene in Chicago every now and then. Shout out
yeah.
to Tao Chicago one time, Colin Comer, who I know is watching this interview right now. But ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't get more Chicago than this. Well, I mean, you got the 96 Bulls, but you got Chance the Rapper
Yeah,
on the
hey,
show tonight. Chance,
my
what's popping,
dog.
man? It's good to see you right now, man.
No,
How you
you
doing?
are. Hey, I appreciate you saying from time to time you see me at the club because I do be at the club very often. But yeah, sometimes Chicago nightlife brings us together. It's good to see you.
I mean, yo, Chicago nightlife is popping. To be honest, it's my favorite city to play in. Like,
No,
I love
I
Chicago
agree.
nightlife.
I would agree with that. It gets very crazy, very wild.
Yeah, it definitely gets very wild, but the food is amazing out there. I mean, the culture is just like, it's through the roof, man. I love Chicago. I mean, I wouldn't say Chicago is like my second home, but it's definitely like, a good third or fourth, just because like, I'm from the Bay Area. I
Yeah,
spent a lot of time in LA, and now I'm here in Las Vegas. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
Chicago definitely top five city that if you have not visited and if you've not spent
Oh
any
yeah, you gotta
time there,
come.
you gotta go. You gotta go, especially with Lollapalooza weekend coming up. I mean,
Yeah.
that's like, I
No,
mean, that's a big weekend. I mean, yo, you ready for that or?
yeah, no, it's gonna be cracking. The summer, Chicago has a lot of crazy events during the summer. They finna do they call it the Taste of Chicago next weekend. That's always been a big
Oh
deal. Like they have
wow,
like
yeah.
over 1,000 different restaurants with booths come through and like they do fireworks and all types of crazy stuff. So it's like, yeah, I would say for me, even though I have traveled to a lot of places, it's definitely the best city to me to like do stuff in and have fun.
Hey, I agree with you, man. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Yo, obviously we're big supporters of your music. Child of
Thank
God,
you.
which was a single that you recently had put out. We'll talk about the new
Yeah,
single in a few
yeah,
minutes. But Child of God,
yeah.
tell me about that record and how that came together.
Yeah, Child of God is probably one of my best records that I made. It's very personal record about perseverance, about confidence, about process of creating, and it kind of like launched this whole movement towards like higher, more elevated art from me, and
Mm-hmm.
working with visual artists like painters and sculptors and stuff to help create like a physical, tangible part of my song. So I actually made the song. With my homie Moses Sumney, who's a vocalist, but also with this chick, with this amazing artist named Nyla Opianga,
Mm.
who's from Gabon, Central Africa. And I met her on a trip to Ghana in Africa, and I met her at her paint studio, and was just so moved by her pieces that it kind of like made me say, "Hey, you should do, you know, I don't even want to call it cover art. You should do an art piece that represents my song, and we can use it to as like a physical piece, almost like a I don't even know, not memorabilia, but like a way to really tie it in. So I flew her to Chicago about a week after I got back from Ghana, and I had this record, like you said, Child of God, that was so much about process that I asked her if I could film her making this piece that I wanted her to make for the song, and I ended up becoming the music video and kind of made a tie-in of all these different pieces of art from the music to the painting to the filmography. I do video, I directed and um, did the director of photography for that video and a lot of my other videos now. But yeah, it's like we basically just had a series of conversations. That's what I've been doing with a lot of visual artists lately, where we just talked about a multitude of different things. And the one that we stuck on for the longest was process. And how do you get yourself as a creative to fully see through and execute making a new creation? And yeah, like I said, it's probably one of my favorite pieces. Thank you for playing that joint so much.
Of course, man. Yeah, we did that. I mean, we're a 2 hour show, but hey, we would play it like two, three times a night. You know
Thank
what I
you.
mean? But a lot of that is just like, I feel like, me, being a Chance the Rapper fan, I mean, that's an automatic thing. And it was a breath of fresh air, to hear a record
Thank you,
like
man.
that as a DJ and be able to play a record like that and be able to have that message, like, resonate for people that were listening to the show. I think that's very important these days.
No, yeah, no,
We need
that's what
more
I'm
of
doing.
that.
I'm trying to be a disruptor. I mean, I am a disruptor, and like my music doesn't necessarily sound like the other music that's coming out. I'm not the same kind of artist or human as anybody else out. I'm just me. And the stuff that I create, I need people to hear it. And I feel like the words on Child of God, or any of the new records I've been making, are words that people need to hear. And you, as a broadcaster, as a person that like has these millions of ears every day, like, to see you choose to play something that's so, left, but also like uplifting and,
we need more of that, man. We need more of that.
That's exactly what we need. So we're gonna disrupt this stuff. I'm trying not to cuss because I know that I don't want you to have to edit all through this and stuff.
Hey, you can do whatever you want. You're Chance the Rapper, my brother, and I'm a big fan. So hey, go ahead.
Yeah, fuck. That's what I'm doing right now, and so I think 2022 is going to be remembered as the year of disruption and what I'm doing and what I'm trying to bring to people that they don't have, but they might subconsciously want. You know what I'm saying? Like, people want to know who they are as a child of God, or that people across all demographics and ways of life deal with the highs and the lows. Like, all of these different conversations that I've had with these artists that are from all around the world, from Africa to the islands to Jamaica to the UK, all these different Black artists had had crazy insight on the conversations I was having with them. And then I was like, I'll just be like, okay, well, paint that, and I'm going to go make the song. And when we come back together, we're going to make a visual for it that's so beautiful and disruptive that when people check it out, they got to say, this is what I've been missing. This doesn't look or sound or feel like anything else I'm seeing. And I trust it and I believe it. And that's the kind of response I feel like we've been getting. So yeah, 2022 is, I almost want to say it's scary, but it's not. It's joyful. It's and it's real, and I love it.
You do so much for the culture, especially for your fans and your community. Tell me about a few weeks ago, you surprised kids at a summer camp, man. Tell me about that real quick.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Yeah. I love seeing stories like that,
Thanks, man. No, so it was a bit of a surprise. I've been running this day camp. My nonprofit Social Works, we run a day camp in Chicago. It's actually two campuses, but one camp where kids go do vacation Bible school, but in like a newer, cooler way. So it's about 100 kids at each campus, and they come in and do, they have like a class. I forget what it's called. I don't know why I'm tripping right now. My daughter goes to the camp, one of them. And
oh, nice.
But they do like vacation Bible school and study and stuff, but then they also do sports and dance and entrepreneurship classes and crazy field trips. And it's the camp that I grew up going to. So it started at my church when I was a kid. And then when I got a little bit older, we started funding it after they lost funding from the Chicago Park Districts, and kind of like reinvigorated the spirit at our church and then at the other churches that we started putting the camps at. And so the last 2 years we've been we've been doing it remote. We couldn't do in-person camp anymore. And so this was our first year back, and they always do their the sign up thing, whatever it's called. They do like their orientation at this water park. And so I decided to pull up, you know what I'm saying? Like, and my daughter's going to camp there. So like I surprised her and brought her up there, and they signed up for class and had a great time.
Amazing.
But yeah, it was A1.
Amazing. That's got to be one hell of a show and tell day for your daughter right there. I love that. How important is it for Chance the Rapper to be there for the youth?
That's my whole goal. That's like my whole theory, and part of what I was talking about with this disruption. It's like a part of this larger heist. Like, we're trying to free the artist from this, the commodification that comes along with working in this industry. Like, whether you're a visual artist or a rapper, at some point you get commodified and become like a product and something that people can exploit. And I'm trying to free the artist from that so that I could free their art. And then the main goal is to free the youth, because I'm not as worried about the adults. I know that we're all kids at heart, and we all, like, you know what I'm saying, like, need help. But my goal is that if I can make transformative, impacts on these kids' lives now, it'll stay with them in the future. And that's how we get to a better world. Like, we can try and reteach adults and try and create spaces for them. And that is part of what we do. But like, it's mainly about teaching these kids. When I was a kid, I went to this after school program called U Media, that a lot of like the Chicago rappers that we know today, Saba, Mick Jenkins, Lucky X, No Name, Vic Mensa, like everybody, a lot of us went to this after school program. It was like an arts program where they had an open mic and we used to come and, you know, rap and do poetry. Some of my people that do comedy now used to do stand up back then. But we were kids, we were all like 14 and 15 years old. And there was an older dude there named Brother Mike Hawkins. He actually passed away a few years back. But he was a mentor to, I would say, like 50% of the acts at my age that came out of Chicago. And he was just like a deep, you know what I'm saying, very educated, very wise, very militant Black dude that, like, you know, kind of just got us right, got us straight, and wanted to see us get better at our craft and treated us like adults that were working in the craft already rather than like kids that were looking to it. So I know that, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I know that because of him, even just being around for me and other the other kids that I knew that I was growing up with, it radically changed our lives and created a career space for us and created, you know, capital for us to do what we need to do for our families and for our community. So like, I would say every single person actually that came up from under him, now on top of being an artist, all do work for the youth. And so I think the plan is we get these kids right, you know what I'm saying? And give them the help and the resources that they need. And then it'll just like carry on a snowball effect till we all right.
I love that. I love that. You're a Chicago native. I mean, you're as Chicago as it gets, man. Every time I think about Chicago, I'm like, yo, you got the 96 Bulls, you got Michael Jordan, you know, you got Kanye West, and you got Chance the Rapper. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like, yo, this is in your blood, man, you know, and I love how you really represent the community more than anything, man. That's a big reason why I'm such a big fan, you know? I would say maybe a few days ago, you know, a senseless tragedy happened in a suburb of Chicago. I want to say Highland Park. How far would you be from there, you know, right now? Like maybe like, you know, I don't know, like a couple
At
miles
this
or so
moment,
like that.
I'm downtown Chicago.
Yeah.
But I actually live like not that far from Highland Park too. I have a house like or a studio space out in the suburbs that's literally a 6-minute drive from Highland Park. And I was landing going to meet my family when the news broke about it. And there's not many words that I have for it other than that it was, you know, obviously an evil, monstrous act. And I don't know how, you know, this man was able to like, you know, create content and music videos and stuff for you know, the past year or so, you know, speaking so negatively and kind of like making threats towards his own life or hurting others and not be monitored like that. But yeah, I mean, it's just, it doesn't make sense. I'm still like, I'm still really in shock about it because you hear about mass shootings so often, but what are the chances that you're actually near to or from like a place that it happens at?
I mean, this one had to hit home. You know what I mean? I mean, they all do, really, to be honest.
No, yeah, they all do. But it's you just keep thinking like, it feels like things just keep getting closer and closer. You know what I'm saying? You see it happen in one place and you're like, oh shit, that happened at a club. That's crazy. But then you see it happen at a church, or then you see it happen at the grocery store, and then you see it happen at the parade, and then you see it happening at more and more schools every month. And you realize that, you know, it's getting closer and closer in proximity to you. And it's a real American problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, America has had a history of problems. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times we don't tend to like look at it from a space of like this reflecting us, and more so like a reflection of like a otherized government or otherized governance. But in reality, like, we the people are the ones that have that pressure and create the change that like can save lives and stuff. So I appreciate all the people that have been you know, protesting or advocating or working towards getting laws that protect people from these kind of tragedies. And, you know, but even with that, like, it's so hard to immediately like politicize how to prevent stuff like that from happening when it just happened to people that are, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like anything that happens in the country, like, especially when it's tied to like these mass shootings that keep happening, it's like we immediately, you know, try and solve for the problem, which is smart. It makes sense. But it also kind of sometimes lacks the humanity to recognize that, like, you know, that's like might be the furthest thing from somebody's mind who just lost their mother, or their father, or their you know, their child, or whoever's affected by the tragedy. So it's just something crazy to me. It's really like hard for me to even wrap my mind around. It's very evil and monstrous for sure.
So how do we make our communities safer?
For my community, we need connection. We need the ability to be in connectivity, to understand each other, to converse with each other, and to be able to have respect for life for each other. There's an old saying, or a word. I can't give you the direct translation, but I don't know if you heard the term Ubuntu. It means I am because we are, and that's like one of the biggest things that I've been trying to like inject into all my friendships, all my relationships, all the people that I come in contact with, even as strangers. My community specifically has been, you know, ravaged, subjugated, exploited, commodified by American and westernized racism and colonialism, and my people globally have been subjugated and commodified and violated by capitalism and racism. And so I think for me, when I think about my community and I think about the troubles that we're facing, I do believe that a lot of them could be subverted by just knowing each other and knowing that we are one community. Like you said, having community is the best way to save my community.
Speaking of community, man, tell me about your recent Juneteenth celebration in Chicago.
That Juneteenth Father's Day.
Fire.
That was crazy.
Come on now.
It was insane, yeah. You know, over 15,000 people.
15,000 people?
Yeah. Without incident. Without any trouble, without any fights, without anybody getting hurt or passing out or nothing. It was a blessed day. Being in community. That's the number one thing. That's what I'm creating with this album. That's what I'm creating with these events that I'm doing. That's what I'm creating with the conversations I'm having with artists around the world. Like I'm trying to create spaces for us to speak privately and to speak in love and in truth and like you said, create community. So we did the same event, this Juneteenth event last year, and my homie Vic Mensa organized the whole thing. It was presented by Save Money, but Vic did all the legwork, and we've been talking about it since last year. I think last year we had maybe about 5,000 people come, and ever since that day,
5 to 15, that's a big jump right there, man.
No, it's insane. But it just came from the organization. That came from me and Vic being tighter and being in community and being able to like say, how do we grow this and how do we create more spaces? So like right after that grocery store, that the incident that happened in Buffalo, where the white supremacist came in and killed these elderly folks, you know, without discrimination. He just went out and killed all these people. I started being in more and more conversation with different Black folks about how we react as one, as opposed to like a million voices. Like, and what we came to the conclusion is that we just need our own spaces. We need safe spaces. And so the Juneteenth event ended up being just that. There were a lot of connections made, a lot of conversations had, a lot of history taught, and a demonstration of what, you know, community could look like. I'm sorry, give me 1 second. I'm coming right back. I got my daughters with me.
No, it's all good, man. It's all good.
Yeah, I'm coming. Hey, sorry about that.
Nah, don't apologize. Never apologize, man. You're being a dad, bro. Like,
yeah,
it's amazing, bro. It's amazing. That's life.
It's crazy. I'm lucky. Like both my daughters got sick at the same time. My oldest daughter is with her nanny right now, and I'm about to have to leave and go take her to a doctor's appointment in about an hour. But it's crazy when you got two kids sick at the same time because they both need so much. You know,
it's a lot of work. Wait, we were talking about the Juneteenth celebration. I don't know exactly where you left off at.
Yeah, no, I was just saying it's a community is something that my people benefit greatly from and come from. We come from community. We come from having elders, having respect for our children, having, you know, deep, you know, connection with each other. And by design of the United States and the way that we've been socialized, like we get further and further from that. But that's where our strength lies, is being, it's in being connected, and not, and it starts here. It starts on the ground in Chicago. Like, I can't tell you probably how many people saw people they hadn't seen in years, or hadn't talked to in so long, and we're basically, you know, put in position to reconnect. But it starts in Chicago. Once we get Chicago fully connected up, we're gonna bring the whole world together in blackness and in love.
Tell me about your trip to Ghana that's coming up.
Yeah, now we're going to Accra, Ghana, which is in West Africa, tomorrow, or in 2 days.
Tomorrow? Oh,
yeah,
wow.
No, it's in 2 days. I was wrong. I got a show first, but I was just saying, I went to Ghana with my brother Vic Mensa at the top of the year. It was my first time going to Ghana. Made some lifelong friends. Got some information and teachings that changed my entire understanding of this life and who I am and what we are as a people. And yeah, now we're going back, because we have a big announcement that we're going to actually make in Ghana at the end of the month. I can't tell you just yet, but we're going to be out there working with some brands, taking some cool meetings, and kind of just like, and reconnecting. I think above even all of that, like anything that's related to community is important to bring up. I'm bringing like, I think 9 of my friends with me.
Oh, wow.
It's about like 20 of us in total that are all going out there. But I do foresee, you know, Ghana being what it is called. It's called the Gateway to Africa. It's the country that was founded on Neo-Pan-Africanism and basically connection with the diaspora. So allowing people that are Black from all over the world to know that they have a home, even if it's just like an ethereal home or a relationship-based home, on the continent and through Ghana. And so we're going back in a couple of days, a bunch of my friends, just to like go and live life and be in one of the most beautiful cities in the world. And I do foresee some more art coming out of it, for sure.
Let's get back to some music. Highs and Lows, the new single with Joey Badass.
Yes, sir.
You know, there's a big breath of fresh air, people, that if you haven't heard it, this is some real hip hop, good hip hop. And you know, I'm not dissing anybody out there that's putting out records or anything, you know, but it's good to hear something along these lines, man, that really speaks to my soul, that really speaks to even, like, you know, my love for hip hop as a DJ. Yeah. You know, tell me about that record and how it came together.
Yeah, no, that record it might be my favorite record I've ever made.
Wow, really?
Not by far. It's probably the one. It's definitely like top 5 greatest songs that I've ever made. But also how good they are it doesn't always, like, you know, relate to my relationship to it as like where I rank it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But it is just like, it's filled with truth. You know what I'm saying? I'm really speaking on my life, on my relationship with my significant other, on my relationship with my community, on my relationship with myself. And it was recorded in Atlanta. I went out to Atlanta for a conference type thing with Revolt, and I seen Joey, who that is like one of my, like, I have a few friends that I say like that are my real friends that are in the industry, and Joey Badass is one of them. We dropped the same year. Both of us celebrated the 10-year anniversaries of our first projects. 10
same
day
class right there, pretty much.
The same class.
Same class right there. Same draft class.
You know what I'm saying? No, but that's my dog. And we ended up going to the studio. Just went through some beats, freestyle for probably 2 hours, just like in the control room, kicking it. And then we got to the highs and the lows. We were on that song for so long. We were like, we should just get pen and paper and make this a thing. And so we finished the record last year. And then, like I said, I went to Ghana and I met Nilo Bianga, the painter who made the first piece for Child of God. And she introduced me to a photographer named Giannis Davy Gwabinga, who's lives in Toronto, but another Black artist from Central Africa that does photography in the coolest way. And we just immediately got to work on it together and shot the video at the Venice Biennale, which is the world's largest, most prestigious art fair. And it's not a super welcoming space always for Black artists. You feel me? And they have gotten better. And this year, actually, the two winners of the Golden Lion were two amazing Black female artists. But Beautiful. We ended up going out there and kind of just feeling a little bit left out almost. But in turn, we were picked up and shown love by the Black artist community that was out there and kind of created our own space. We called ourselves the Black Venice Alliance. So we threw a fat ass party, invite only party the last night to celebrate the wins. We got to connect. There was no status differences in between people. It wasn't like there was like
it was just the vibe.
It was just vibing.
It was just shot the video. It was energy, people feeding off each other.
No, it was a real time, and I was surrounded by the world's greatest artists. So it was just like an opportunity.
Oh, that energy had to be just impeccable right there. Like,
I mean, I'm a filmmaker too. So like,
for sure.
So when you go to Italy, they say like painters come to Italy and paint in Florence because it has the best natural light in the world. That's what they say. The sunlight. So if you notice, like none of the shots in the video are lit. They're all natural lighting. And just great compositions, not to toot my own horn, but great compositions on the shots. And we were able to like create this video that really showed what it feels like to be Black in foreign land, and not just the lows of it, but also the highs of it and the smiles of it and the interaction there. So to me, it's probably my best piece so far.
Wow.
But I'm happy.
That's big. That's big coming from you, man. You know what I mean? Because I feel like we're our hardest critics, So it's like, even for me, like, I mean, I don't think I can even pinpoint like what would be like my top 3 or top 5, like greatest bodies of work, So that's big coming from someone as artistic and talented as you,
Yeah, I think like what we do as artists is we try and like one up ourselves in terms of the communication and the impact of our art always. And we know how we feel about different songs. And so I feel like every once in a while you hear an artist say like, yo, this is my favorite thing I ever made. You know what I mean? Because it's like you work on it like your life depends on it. Like you're writing it like it's so important for people to catch the message, for people to positively, interact with it. And then it comes out and it's really like no longer up to you. You got to just watch your kid grow up in the world, basically. And so the way that people, analogy. You know what I'm saying? The way that people have reacted to it, though, they love my kid. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it was just a great moment of collaboration and connectivity. Like I keep talking about, like it was a great time for Black people from all around the world to connect. And then I feel like we've kind of like created a time capsule. Like I think over time, once people start noticing, oh, that's Hank Willis Thomas in the video, or oh, that's Tariku Sheriff. Like as these artists start to become more and more globally recognized in spaces that aren't accessed as like the fine arts world or stuff, but like real people start to see it. They're like, oh, these are the people that created art that changed my life. You know what I'm saying? So very proud of this work, very proud of the love that has been getting shown. The fact that it's, you know what I'm saying? Like we're in a different era also, like with the kind of music that's getting created, like, and a lot of
that's what I'm saying. It's like such a big, like fresh breath of air. Like when that record hit my inbox, shout out Troy Marshall one time.
Shout out Troy Marshall.
Yo, I swear to you, man, I listened to it and like, I'm one of those like I'm a big music snob these days, and a lot of it is because it comes with my age now, and I've been doing this for quite some time. So it's like, okay, like, all right, everything just seems like it's a little very microwave and very surface. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The things that DJs are seeing and playing, today, it's just, what we're getting in mass quantities, but then you get that one gem and that gem is highs and lows. And I'm like, wow. Like this one, Like, and I'm big on message. I'm big on positivity. I'm
Yes,
big
sir.
on community. I'm big on having that message resonate. And I feel like,
For
your
real.
music, like, yo, we need more of that, man. We need more Chance the Rapper, bro.
Yeah.
We need more of this positivity out there. We need more communities to be built off that vibe. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna roll into this next question, which is like, yo, do you have like an album coming out? Is there a tour or something like
I'm
that,
working
man?
on it.
Like,
Yeah, I'm working on this project, and yeah, I'm working on. I will be touring soon. I can't say the release for the ticket states, but I can say that I've taken time to myself to create the picture that I wanted to give to people, the aesthetic, the
mm-hmm.
visual language. I spent time just figuring out exactly how I want people to see my just video versions of it. You know what I'm saying? And it's been very fruitful. Like I'm very, very happy with the direction that the project's going in, with the new music that we've been making, the collaborators that have spent time with me. And I think like yeah, it's what I'm making is probably some of the best art that come out in the past like 30 to 50 years. And it's not me, hyping myself up or being gassed or cocky or anything like that. It's because of the collaboration mainly. It's because of all the people that I've been able to be in relationship with making this shit that made it so hard. You know what I'm saying? And but also for myself, I'm the rapper. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not a rapper. I'm not that rapper. I'm the only one that does it the
The
way that I do it. You know what I'm saying? And this is the real way to do it. And so, to be at a level where I could, write out every word that I'm saying on screen and it still hit, it's like the proof is in the pudding. Like I'm about to show everybody how to rap, about to show everybody how to make music that touches your soul. And I'm about to teach everybody how to be in community with each other. And so I haven't been calling it an album. I've been calling it a project because that's how I'm working on it. The songs themselves are like albums. Each
yeah.
song is
Wow.
is such dense art that I need to layer it out between painting, video, and songs so that it can come across. And yeah, like when it comes to the show, like my live show is just different. I'm a disruptor, and so I think the thing that I'm most excited about and the thing that gives me the most comfort is that all those people that were with me since day one, since 10 day, all these people have been popping up in my comments and in my DMs and popping up on the street, just letting me know like, yo, Child of God was exactly what I needed. Or yo, the highs and the lows was exactly what I needed. Or the bar about a bar is like what hip hop needs. Like people coming to me and saying, I remember how you made me feel the first time. And now this is even crazier. And a lot of those people, like, I'm gonna see you at the show, and I'm gonna put on the show that no one else can put on, the Chance the Rapper show.
Before we're out of here, I like to look at you, and I'm sure everyone else, like, sees you the same way, as one of the more and most positive and inspiring figures of hip hop today. You
Thank you,
know,
man.
um, what is something that you can leave somebody who's watching this interview right now that might be, going through a tough time, that things are going to be all right? What's some words of encouragement, wisdom, affirmations, anything like that,
Yeah.
something that we can leave people on a high note with, like, what, things are going to be all right.
Um, I think I'm a quote one of the best people that I know, like literally no joke, one of like the kindest people I know, one of the, smartest people I know, somebody that built a lot of community, and is basically being harassed by the state right now. Shout out to my homie Jeff, Young Thug. Love from everybody, like literally everybody in the world is waiting your fair trial and your opportunity to get back home and see your kids and be the father that you always been. But Young Thug had a saying that he said one time. He said if you're tired of starting over, stop giving up. If you're tired of starting over, quit giving up.
Wow.
Because a lot of us find ourselves in positions where we feel like we're overwhelmed with all these different tasks, and it seems like a new one keeps coming, new problems keep surfacing, And the truth is, we just got to see these things through. We got to execute. And though it may be tough, though it may seem like impossible, I'm sure you can remember a lot of times in the past where you felt like you didn't know how you were going to survive. And now you can't even think of it as a problem now because it's so far behind you. And that's how all these things are. They're just another day. And you've seen a lot of days and you made it back to your bed every night. So just, if you're tired of starting over, quit giving up.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Free thug, yo.
Chance the Rapper. I'm a big fan. I know we got other big fans that are watching this interview right now. Yo, bro, I got a link with you, like, back when I get to Chicago. I'll be out there for.
Hit me up, man.
Of course, man. And anytime, you'll always have a home here on the basement. Anytime you put out a record, it's automatic. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, when I get back to Chicago, man, I'm out there pretty often. I'll be out there, I think, July 29th for that's La La weekend, I believe.
Yep.
I'll be at Tao Chicago like the whole entire weekend. So, definitely got to link out. Ladies and gentlemen, Chance the Rapper here on LA's new home for hip hop. It's Real 92.3, The Basement, with your boy DJ E-Rock. Lego.